There A. Know your reason for using a story. To illustrate a point, to entertain, or to build common ground with your audience, identifying your purpose will make your selection much easier. You also understand the length of time and you should devote to telling it, and the effort that you should go into telling it well. There B. Set up the anecdote in an intriguing way. A bad example. No, now I'm going to tell you about teacher who made a mistake in a school in Mexico City. Instead, you can use it like this. Teachers can be great leaders, but sometimes they can make mistakes too, and great leadership is shown when that happens. And that was the case when I was teaching in Mexico City. There C. Choose relevant and appropriate details. It is tempting to talk while you think. Don't either work out your story by talking in aloud until you perfect it, or write the story and then edit out what's not interesting. Ask yourself with each story, phrase, and sentence. Does it add to the mood or does it raid the essence? Is this detail necessary to move the story forward and make the point? Take out unimportant details and diminish or add only length.
Prefer scene to narrative. Recreate the movie scene, add the dialogue, and step into the stories as a character, if necessary, to breathe life into the telling. Don't be Prefer scene to narrative. Recreate the movie scene, add the dialogue, and step into the story as a character, if necessary, to breathe life into the telling. Don't be an omniscient narrator, but enact is as best as you can. E. Ensure a beginning, middle, and end. It doesn't matter if your story is less than 60 seconds long when delivered. It needs to have a beginning, middle, and end. Without all three, your listeners will feel as though you are leaving something out. Now, this doesn't mean you have to complete the entire story all at once. You may move the story along during an entire presentation to make several key points during your presentation. F. Perfect facial expression, voice tone, and body language. In the same way that both content and delivery work together to make your entire presentation either dynamic or dull, a story and its delivery work together to create the total impact. We have discussed this before, and telling stories and anecdotes work in the same way.
Let the punchline stand by itself. If you have to explain the punchline, it doesn't work. Play with it until it does. Sometimes the substitution of one keyword will make the difference between the laugh and the blank stare. Practice the punchline and the punch word until others understand it. If they don't, delete it, rather than explain it. H. Don't rush the laugh lines or the pregnant pauses. Standing silent while a group responds takes courage. Such pauses may be the longest of your career. However, if you rush through them, the audience will take their cue from you and assume that you did not want to or intend for them to respond audibly. Their non-response then destroys your confidence in telling additional stories in the remaining sections of your presentation. As a result, your delivery gets dry, the presentation descends to disenchantment. I. The longer the story, the funnier the punchline needs to be. Attention spans are short. Lengthy stories can lead to big expectations. The end disappointment with a poorly delivered then in disappointment will with a poorly delivered or less hilarious punchline.
J. Avoid a big buildup that sets up disappointment. Inexperienced speakers warn, here comes a joke, with a long head in. And with a long buildup, the typical group reaction after you tell the anecdote will be, that wasn't such a great story, and it wasn't so funny. Just get into the story and then make your point. The audience will let you know if it was funny or not. K. Perfect your timing. Always practice your delivery. A good story, and especially if it's meant to be funny, needs the right pause and time to be said. You'll notice that one word makes or breaks the entire story. You can't fumble that word or line in your story. L. Rework your story until perfected. Changing a single word, adding one specific detail, or changing a person's name can be the difference between confusion and clarity, a laugh and a booing, retention and oblivion. Details always matter. M. Rehearse your stories and anecdotes before the real deal. Before you use an anecdote in a presentation, make sure that it works. The best way to do this is to see how others react as you tell it. Tell it to your family and friends. Tell it at a cocktail party. Tell it at work. Do people laugh? At which points in the story do their faces change? When do their eyes change expressions? Were they shocked, amused, surprised? On the next telling, play up those parts. Create more suspense, add more dialogue, less narration.